right, cool.
Word.
Yes, sir, man. 2025, man. Back out here. Your boy Trackfeen. Got a special guest today, my man Quis. I'm gonna let him introduce himself in 1 second. Just letting y'all know that we back out here. I know y'all haven't seen me for a while. It's been maybe over a year since I've done any podcasts or any filming. Um, we're bringing you back the Show Improve podcast. Boulevard 58 presents Show Improve podcast. So we still Boulevard 58, which was the name of the last podcast. But now we're going to do the Show Improve. That's the name of a radio show I have on Wrecking Crew Radio every Sunday. You can find that on Fleet DJs, fleetradio.com, I believe. Fleet DJ Radio Network, to be exact. But yeah, man, I'm just trying to be back outside with it. You know what I mean? But without further ado, I'm just going to start getting the ball rolling, man. This time we're going to show improve. We're going to do talking, but we're going to do less talking. We're going to do more showing improving. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, I know I told y'all my first guest is Quis, but I'm going to let Quis introduce himself.
Word, man.
So
Thank
welcome,
you, brother.
my brother. Welcome.
Thank you, man.
No doubt.
Well, it's Quis. I want to say I am a lot of things. But, I can say I'm a DJ and a producer. I am slowly coming back with a new name company, but we'll talk more about that later on. But yeah, thank you for having me, bro.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you being here.
Hell yeah, man.
For real, man. Honestly, I couldn't figure out who I wanted, to bring on as a first guest or whatever. And I was like, Quis, like, shit, why not? It only made sense.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? And I feel like with the podcast, a lot of people want to do the rapper per se, which is dope. We know a lot of rappers. We know a lot of artists, period.
Word.
So, of course, we're going to get the freestyles on here and everything else, man. But I'm trying to build this from the ground up. So, at the end of the day, anybody could rap. Not anybody. Well, a lot of people can rap, but what brings that magic together before it hits the listener ear is the number one, the producer, then the engineer,
Word.
And then the DJ.
Yeah.
You got to make the beat. You got to record some hot fire over that beat. You got to mix and master that beat. Then you got to give it to the streets for them to feed the streets. So, you said you're a engineer?
I am.
You're also a producer?
Yes.
Okay. What other hats you wear?
Dabbling back into photography.
Okay.
But slowly getting into photography.
Yes, sir.
But on a creative side, those are like my main
focuses.
Things, yeah.
Yes, sir. So I'm gonna start from the beginning. So in the creative process of making a track is the production. So first, let me ask you, who was your first inspiration as a producer?
As a producer, I want to say a couple. So usually people, they'll ask like, who's like the producers you grew up listening to or whatever.
Right.
Because based off of what I make or how I make beats, I say the first couple people would always be the Ninth Wonders.
Okay.
I like a lot of Southern stuff too. So like I'm a huge Big Crit fan.
Okay.
A lot of people really don't say his name a lot, but like he's also another producer. So he produces all his stuff.
Okay.
So Ninth Wonder, Big Crit. If it's Bounce, I'll take Timberland too.
I
like to take bits and pieces of different things and then kind of put it together.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
So Timberland back in the day was one of my, I wouldn't say one of my favorites, but one of my top three, I would say. Especially when I think they had Beat Club.
Yep.
It was like him, Aaliyah, Missy. I think Genuine was down with them. They had a little squad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was definitely lit. So, all right. So that was the first producers that made you fall in love with the beat. What was the first actual beat that made you say, damn, I think I could do this?
Honestly, I want to say I probably would go back to Ninth Wonder.
Okay.
And I'll probably go back to Ninth Wonder, and it's probably the song "Loving It," my little brother.
Loving It by Little Brother.
Yeah.
Little Brother was fire,
Yeah.
man. They definitely was fire, man. I remember the big frenzy around that time when they came. I think the album had like their 4 faces on it or something, if I remember correctly, man. But yeah. All right, so Ninth Wonder, Little Brother. What was the name of the song again?
Loving It.
Loving It. So make sure y'all check out Loving It. That might inspire somebody out there to be a producer, just like it inspired Quis here, man. Word up. So you started the creative process with making your own beats. Now, do you have a certain program? Do you choose to use like Fruity Loops, Pro Tools, or is there other programs you like to dabble into that people might not touch?
No, yeah, I'm a big Fruity Loops person.
Fruity Loops?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I started. I was always dabbling in Fruity Loops. It was you go to the demo versions and everything first and try to figure everything out.
Okay.
And then once you realize what you want, then you start to use it even a lot more and figure out where you want to go with it.
Yo, I feel like for anybody that could produce an engineer, your brain's like on fucking a million. Because I've sat through producer classes, I've sat through engineering classes, and I had brain farts for days, bro. It wasn't even just like during the class. It was like, what the fuck did I just sit through? You know what I'm saying? But I always shout my man out, real precise. I sat through a class with him, and he literally told us what to do step by step. And I made a beat for the first time, played it back. I was like, oh shit. And then like 5 minutes later, he's like, all right, go ahead and do it over again by yourself. Yeah, I couldn't figure it. I'm trying to level everything out. For me, I'm from the old school, so I always was like a beatboxer. You know what I'm saying? Whenever we did the freestyling or whatever, I had to kick the beat. And then when it was time for me to freestyle, nobody knew how to beatbox. So I was always shit out of luck when it was time for me to spit. Which kind of made me a better rapper in a sense, because then I had to start rapping a cappella. So I knew niggas was really listening. You know what I'm saying? But that's dope. That's dope.
That's how it was. That's how I was in school. Like before I even started like having a computer and making beats or whatever, I was the kid tapping on tables all the time.
Okay.
I was a kid tapping on tables. I was beatboxing and something. So everybody at lunch or even outside at the park somewhere was rapping, and I'm usually the one making the beat somewhere.
Okay.
To the point where like, all right, now I can transfer from me tapping on tables or hitting the drum to the computer.
Okay.
And get the same thing.
Hell yeah, man. And that's kind of what made me think I could be a producer one day, because I knew how to beatbox so good. You know what I'm saying? But when it came to the technical side, bro, I was like, nah, I can't do this shit.
Hell yeah.
So that brings me to the rappers. I'm sure like as you started working in studios and showcasing your beats or making your beats in studios, now you're starting to record people.
Yeah.
Are the first like handful of people you recorded, were they the rappers or the singers?
Yeah. I want to say usually when you first start recording, it's mostly like my friends first.
Yeah.
That's
how we usually start.
Like if like you kind of get the who wants to do what. So like I had a bunch of friends who were already making music, and then I was always interested in the technical side. Nice. So like I'm watching them record themselves, and I'm trying to figure out how do you do that. Because in the beginning, like I'm always around rappers, so like in my head in the beginning, I thought I wanted to rap too, just like them.
Right.
But then I'm watching everything else, and I'm like, I'm more interested in the sound part.
Right.
Because that's what everybody's gravitating towards in the beginning.
That boom bap, that boom boom.
They get the beat, and then you have somebody with the lyrics, and they both kind of combine, and it makes it even crazier.
Right.
So like, that's what I like first too.
Okay. All right. So then you start recording these people. Now, before we get into the engineering side, was there anything that pissed you off as far as like recording people? Like, let me see, like off of my experiences of being in the, like where people don't know their words, or you got to do 30 takes, or if they I don't know, let's say they might be in there trying to freestyle because they, you know what I'm saying? Is there anything that you might have a pet peeve with as far as like recording the artist?
I want to say in the beginning, when I first started doing it, I want to say in the beginning it was, which like give or take, depending on what the skill is of this artist, it's if they are doing takes and they're doing what's it called, punch-ins.
Okay.
Punch-ins I'm cool with.
Right.
But it was in the beginning, it was the punch-ins every other like couple words. Like that's what I didn't get. Like something to say if you have a,
so it ain't every bar, it's every couple words.
Yeah, like I say if you have like a 2-hour session,
mm-hmm.
and they're essentially making that song when they get there.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't have it on the way there.
Okay.
That's like a big thing that I like to tell a lot of people too. Like when you go to a recording studio, whether it be me, anybody,
be ready.
You already have an idea before you had the idea before you paid for the session.
Right.
So you can write everything down, practice at home, and then when you get to the studio session,
mm-hmm.
you already have it in your head.
Right.
So this is like your time that you're paying for, however amount of hours you're paying for.
Yes,
so you're already ready to go. That way you can come out with something.
I used to tell people that all the time, man. Like when you go to the studio, be prepared,
mm-hmm.
man.
Yeah.
Be prepared. Like there's plenty of times where I've sat through sessions where it wasn't my session. So I didn't come prepared.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not saying I shouldn't have been. You should always be prepared when you step in the studio. But I know good and goddamn well, whenever I paid for a session, I was ready.
Yeah.
Excuse me, because at the end of the day, you're not wasting nobody's time but yours.
Mm-hmm.
The engineer's gonna make his money. You paid him for that hour. He's gonna work for that hour.
Right.
But it's like, how much work can you get out of him for an hour if you didn't come prepared?
Exactly.
Or that 2 hours. Stop booking 1 hour. All right. So
there's nothing for an hour anymore.
Yeah.
I've told people do that too. Like at least like most places now, like it's a 2 hour minimum.
Right.
I want to say at least 2 hour minimum, only because I say with this, when you book 2 hours, you have, I'd say like this, you have an hour and 30 minutes to get your stuff recorded and mixed and whatever, or at least get your stuff recorded and done. In the last 30 minutes, you can leave the last 30 minutes for the engineer to mix your stuff and get everything done, so that you can leave with something.
Right.
And it usually takes about that amount of time anyway. So like that's why I more encourage 2 hours or more.
Okay. So now you're making the beat.
Yeah.
You got your friends to rap to your beats.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're recording them while they're rapping to your beats.
Yeah.
Now you're figuring out how to set the tone, how to set the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I should have asked you from the beginning, is a lot of this stuff self-taught, or did you self-teach yourself some of it? Did you go to school for some of it?
So it's with some of it. I want to say for making...
as far as production and engineering.
So the engineering I went to school for.
Okay.
The engineering I went to school for. On the production side, it was more self-taught.
Okay.
So it was a lot of just like either reading stuff or studying producers that you looked up to, and watching how they do stuff. Or it could be those times where you're not necessarily watching videos. You can be that person where you can just be listening to a song and you're thoroughly listening to that song, trying to figure out like what that sound is. And then you want to figure out, like, if Timbaland made a beat, there's certain sounds that only Timbaland has. And you're trying to figure out what that sound is. You're so intrigued on that one sound. You rewinding that song so many times. And that's like, especially like with sampling, there's a bunch of different things that people use.
Yeah, you're right. You think of it. Yeah, everybody has it's like their signature, basically.
Like back then, it wasn't, if you listen to a lot of stuff now, you got a lot of producers, they got their beat tags. Before they didn't.
Right.
So like
that's true,
every producer had a specific sound. You knew that producer made it. Like you knew a Timbaland beat from a Pharrell beat or from
a Swiss beat.
Yeah, like you knew without having them say their name or something in it.
Right.
That
like
makes
RZA,
it a little easier.
You always know a RZA beat. When you heard Wu-Tang or something, you knew it was a RZA beat.
You knew it was produced by him. Like it was all like Jermaine Dupri. You knew they were doing it without them actually saying their name in it.
That's true. And
then they started saying their names.
Why did DJs start doing that? Was that
I don't know.
You know, is that a financial thing?
I think it started after. I think it started after when the beat selling stuff started happening.
Okay.
Like when people started leasing beats.
Yeah.
Like when that started happening, people doing that more.
Yeah, you're right.
And then it was like, and then people started doing that a lot more to the point where that's like the culture now, where producers and DJs do that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, word, man. All right, Quis. So we got the producer Quis.
Word.
Then we got engineer Quis.
Word.
Then we got mix and mastering Quis. Now, I know you mentioned a little bit of photography.
Yeah.
Now, you did. Oh, hold on. Before we even get to photography, how could I forget the most important thing that connects us, man? DJing.
Yeah.
All right. So is that self-taught as well?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, you got to tell me
a lot of practice.
Because I took a small course on DJing and through over the years I've learned from other DJs and picked up my own little strategies and techniques. So yes, please, I got to hear this story. So how'd you start DJing?
First it was more just in the house, just more at home really.
Okay.
I know when I first was more interested in it, I was always a kid listening to music anyway, or like just picking playlists and stuff with my friends, or we're all just in the house listening to stuff.
Right.
And then as like a gift for my birthday, like I ended up getting like a small little controller that but in the house at the time I wasn't going out DJing at home, because at home at the time we only had a desktop computer.
Okay.
So I had just that connected to the desktop computer. Okay. And I'm just playing stuff in the house.
You still
and I'm
found
just like,
way,
I'm just doing stuff in the house. And then I want to say my first ever experience DJing outside of family was I did like house parties with your friends.
Yeah.
I did a house party for a friend, and still at the time I didn't have a laptop.
Okay.
I had a friend who had a laptop.
Shout out to that friend.
So he was like, "What we can do is you put everything on a hard drive, and you can plug it into my laptop. I put the program on his computer,
right? And
we did it that way,
right?
And then I'm going back and forth. It's like I remember this specifically only because it was a Halloween party at his crib. Obviously, none of us were supposed to be there. You got cops called, all this stuff. Nobody was supposed to be there.
His parents were out. The cops got called.
Parents were out.
Shit,
parents were out. Parents were out.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's it. Nobody's supposed to be there. Stuff got broken in the crib. That was it. But like, that was one of like the few house parties.
Like, he was breaking shit in the house.
Yeah, we had. I'm not gonna say any names.
But we good.
We did have like a few like situations where like cops called. I had a friend, a close friend, that was our security, who came in dressed up like security.
That is
until the cops came. He wasn't security no more.
Oh man, right? You take that security shit right
he had off was gone. You didn't see it. He didn't. I was like, cool. I was like, all right, cool. We got everything. Cops came. They're trying to ask whose house is it. Obviously, my friend whose house it was gone.
Bro, that's gotta be like an ultimate high for you.
Oh yeah.
For this to be your first time like DJing an actual gig.
Yeah.
After being self-taught on a desktop and a controller. Now you're at your man's crib. You know it's one of them nights where everybody told their parents they going somewhere else other than where everybody's at. And you're the one bringing the vibe. Okay. Well, I see the vibe you brought. So you knew you was lit from day one. Okay.
Me just going to parties and everything. I was like, I know what to play.
Oh shit.
And that's like it's like learning, or even just like you go on to parties, you're watching the DJ that's there. And I'm learning from them. I'm like, all right, so they're watching to see who's in the room.
Absolutely.
What are they gonna play? Now I'm DJing with kids my age. I know what I listen to. I know what they listen to. Now you got to know what song to play at what time, at the right time. If it's a little later, then everybody's coming in. Cool. You start playing all the vibes coming in.
Right.
People are kind of just chilling. Cool. You start playing chill shit.
Right.
But I do that now. Like me just going to like a room where I can be DJing for 17, 18-year-olds or 50, 60-year-olds. And you gotta know.
You gotta know, read the room. Yep.
That's the best part though. Like you don't know who's gonna be in the room. Depending on what event you're in, you can have a little bit of everything. And you kind of just read the room and trying to figure out what kind of situation you want to put yourself in.
Right.
You control the entire room.
And sidebar DJs, that's why we keep a lot of clean music as well. You know what I'm saying? Even though you downloading the newest banger or the biggest hit, also get the clean version because, you know, read the room. Like, you might know you got hired for this party or this event for it to be that turn up or whatever. But
Mhm.
if the older folks and the kids are showing up early, like, you
Right.
know what I mean? Be respectful of what you playing, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to, but it's gonna help you get
It's
more
gonna help you
gigs.
more
It's gonna
stuff.
help you look better as a DJ and as a human being
Tell
in
you.
general.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I've done that with a bunch of things.
Right.
Where, like, I'm going out somewhere and somebody may ask you, can you DJ my kid's party?
Mm-hmm.
Just because you were doing that really well. You didn't realize there was like
That's how it starts.
15, 20 kids in there.
Why
with
does
a
it
bunch
always
of
start
adults.
with the kids' party? Bro?
It's the
But
kids'
I get
parties.
it, I
all
get
that.
They gotta
And
test you out.
It's like it's tiered. It's the kids' parties.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing too. Like, depending on, I say when people ask you to do kids' parties,
Mm-hmm.
now I gotten to the point where if people ask me to do the kids' party, I'm looking at details.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody asks me to do a kids' party and the kids' party starts at 8,
Right.
it's
Right.
not for the kids.
Right. Right.
The kids are going to bed at 8. So I'm like, all right, cool.
It depends on the ethnicity, man.
Yeah, that too.
You know,
that too. You may DJ a party and it may not end until 3 o'clock.
Because in this
morning.
region, my some of my Haitians, but some of my Cabo Verdes, they be starting them kids' birthday parties late as hell, man.
8, 9 o'clock,
Especially in
7
the
o'clock.
summertime. They be out here till 2, 3 in the
Mhm.
morning. Kids be down the street running, riding
And they're
bikes.
hanging
It's
out. They're
wild,
chilling.
man.
They don't
It's
care.
wild. Right. This shit's lit.
Right.
So you go from being self-taught to
Mhm.
turning out the biggest fucking party of the century for your birth, for your first party. And it was crazy. It's a Halloween party. So I know
Right.
everybody's in there masked up,
Right.
feeling
Right.
and getting their little whatever's on. That's why they breaking shit. So now you end up DJing bigger events.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite like events or some of your most, consistent events that you get booked for now?
What I like now, well, I can say a lot of DJs, we love private events. Private events,
Absolutely.
Private events are like your bread and butter.
Mhm.
But I want to say with me now, I want to say the bigger events I like to do is like city events. So like I do this event in Quincy. It's a multicultural fair. So like we actually have another one coming up, I think in May. But what they do is different cultures. They come in, they kind of just like, they have performances, they have different things coming on. Families come in, they express either what where they're from, they have information about where they're from, they bring food. What I usually do is I'm usually responsible for the sound of the music.
Okay.
So like when they have performances, I'm usually the one they send it to. But then in between the performances, there are a lot of people just watching the performances. So I'm engaging with them.
Lit.
And there's a lot of families and kids. So like, again, going back to making sure families and kids are cool. Like I make sure they're having fun.
Right.
In the mix of everything going on. And like there's a big, it's like a big football field kind of.
Okay.
So they kind of just like, everybody's having fun and being cool. So it's dope.
You know what day in May that is?
I want to say the 17th. I can check actually, but there's a few.
Yeah, check that
But
out.
they have,
so y'all can pop out, man. I'm sure y'all gonna see this episode way before May.
Oh yeah.
So please, man, make sure y'all pop out. Check out Quis. He's also mentor for kids as well, right?
I do work in the school system, so a lot of stuff. Yeah.
He's a positive individual, man. He's not gonna get around your kids and have them smoking, rolling up, taking shots. He's not gonna do none of that. He's not gonna take them to the strippy. None of that, bro. I promise you, yo. He's gonna be over there mentoring your son and your daughter or whoever, and make sure they're getting their head right so they can move forward in life.
May 17th. May 17th from 12 to 3 in Quincy. So it should be, it's gonna be dope. But what I don't want to say, besides like city events, what I'm slowly getting back into is weddings.
Yes.
Weddings.
Big salute to that.
Weddings are crazy.
Yes, sir. I got 2 this month, man.
Yeah, weddings are crazy.
Listen, man.
I got one at the end of the year, and I will just actually do another one for next year.
Oh yeah.
But like those get crazy because a lot of planning goes into weddings.
Okay.
A lot of planning goes into weddings, depending on whatever type of budget people have. But then you just learning how expensive weddings are.
Yes.
And like what everything goes into it, and then they gotta pay you. They gotta pay the photographer. All those things. I'm like, oh man, And I'm like, all right.
Listen, man, one of the two things I learned as a DJ, bar mitzvahs and weddings.
Oh yeah.
That's your payday right there. You can pay your mortgage, your car payment, everything else off that one gig if you do it right.
Oh yeah. And then there's people.
Those are the big ones.
There's people who that strictly just do weddings, or they just like either a wedding DJ or they just do like just big corporate events, and that's where their money's coming from.
Right.
And that you do it enough, you can live off of that easily.
Absolutely.
You can do enough of those a month, you're good. Bro. Especially the corporate ones, you do enough of those a month, you're good.
Bro, there's people buying houses off of DJing. Yeah. There's so much money into this music stuff.
Yeah.
Man. And it's just about consistency.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I like to bring people like you onto these platforms. People with multi hats.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You don't just wear one hat, especially us being in Massachusetts, New England.
Yeah.
As everybody know, if you look at statistics, this is probably the second, if not the most expensive state to live in right now, where I believe they said you have to make at least like $100,000 a year to live just comfortably on an average. And you know damn well not even half, 70-80% of people around here ain't making that.
That's not even close.
In a year. It's probably more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we're in a state where we really have to hustle to get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my Fleet DJ family. You know, it's a big unification, man. That's a worldwide thing, but I'll talk about that later. Right now, we focusing on Quis, man. You know what I'm saying? The DJ, the producer, the engineer. Oh, studio owner. Do you have a studio as well?
I do.
Plug the people in. Let them know what the name of your studio is.
I own a studio in Brockton.
Okay.
Outside of this Stacey Adams building.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I'm slowly getting back into like renaming and rebranding. A lot of stuff is kind of just with me. So if you do book with me, you can easily hit me up on either on social media and stuff like that. But the side part that I'm trying to get more into is I name it Mediate Sound and Creation.
Yes.
The way I have that name was based off of kind of mixed into everything I do.
Okay.
So, well, within music and outside of music.
Okay.
So, outside of music, like with you, like everybody, like we're all artists, but we also have day jobs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, like, not everybody right now is living off of your music. There's plenty of artists that I've met over time where they're amazing artists. They can crazy music.
Mm-hmm. But
a lot of the times you only really see them in the music scene.
Okay.
Not realizing that's a teacher.
Right.
Or that's a guidance counselor. Or like that dude's working at McDonald's. That's just like that dude's working at the bank. Like one of the two is like with me, I've met people that don't realize I work in a school. Or like I've been working with children for over 10 years. So like people don't realize that until like, they come to a place and they see me.
Right.
And they're like, oh, okay, cool. But then I also work I'm a behavioral specialist.
Okay.
So like I work with autistic children. So like a lot of that stuff, like I like to speak. I like to, I'm a person where like a lot of people are okay and comfortable speaking with me.
Okay.
You're a mediator. Hence mediate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like even with being an engineer, there are times where you are speaking to that artist.
Right.
You're not just coming in and then recording. You may want to see how that artist feels that day.
Yeah. You gotta check on their mental first. Okay.
With me having my background, I use that as well too. Mm-hmm. So like there's times where the training that I have, I'll use that in the studio as well.
Okay.
So like I can make sure that person is at least comfortable enough to see how they feel that day before they record. Because depending on how they feel that day is based off your recording.
Right.
So like, I make sure everything is at least a warm welcome as you're coming in.
Okay.
Like I may not know you that day, but by the end of the session, you're like an extra family member or something.
Right.
Or like an extra friend. So
now they want to make this their home studio. They want to continue to come here and record. Okay.
So I want to make sure everything is like
set
always
the vibe,
cool.
set the tone.
Every time.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. All right, brother. So now that you've been doing the studio ownership, so you're recording a lot.
Mm-hmm.
With the production, are you getting a lot of artists that hit you up for your beats? Is there a way to get to your beats?
Yeah.
For
So
people out there that want to know.
yeah. So with what I do now, especially with the music that I've been working on and trying to put out, um, there are artists that hit me up that usually can't reach me.
Okay.
Like if they do want beats, then I do have a website where it's Quis.com. So it's itsquis.com. So in that, if you go in there, you will see a tab for my beats.
Okay.
And there's would run through a lot of producers now. If you do sell beats, it's either between BeatStars or Airbit. I use Airbit. That's one of my things I've been using for a long time.
Okay.
So Airbit is one. You can go on there. I have like certain merchandise and stuff that I've been using in the back.
Okay.
Which has actually been going well with that too.
So like when you click on the link, it'll take you to Airbit. Is that what you're saying?
So on the website I have now, I have a tab on the website where it's already set. So it won't even take you to the Airbit thing. Gotcha. I already have it strictly on the website. Or depending on if you go through my my social media, I have a separate link to where it'll bring you to Airbit. So either way, you would get to either side,
right? And
then it'll bring you to where you need to be.
Right. So can you explain the whole transition of how you was out here DJing, how you know Jizzy, and just how y'all got that popping?
Yeah. So I've actually known Jizzy for a long time. So that's like another thing where like people being in the music scene and then knowing people personally. I grew up with Jizzy. So like I've known him since maybe the 6th grade.
Right.
So growing up, again, like when he was first starting out, I would see him more with his podcast, interviewing people, getting into shows. And then when he started collabing with other people, he ended up collabing with my team. Okay. So I used to be part of a group. It was Quis Entertainment.
Okay.
So we've been doing shows. We worked with Hustle Killers. We worked with Hero and Bars Over Bars forever. Shout out to all of them. Everybody ended up, obviously, we disbanded. Right. Whatever's like everybody. I love for all of them. But I've known Jizzy, again, longer than everybody that was on my team. And then when he started working with us, he was actually recording some of his podcast episodes in our studio. Right. So like going back and forth with them, we would do shows together. We were together when I think it was a little before COVID. We ended up bringing Sue Surf down here. We ended up bringing Smoke Perp down here. Like we had different events. That was more of the bigger events. Okay. So like doing stuff with him, it made sense for him to come to me, because there were times where I would do his shows so much to the point where people already thought I was a part of the team. So because I was always there. Yeah, and then we kind of So people were like, all right, cool. Like, are you part of Talk of the Town? In the beginning, we were just like, oh, we just work together. Right. And then it got to the point, he goes, you might as well just you can join me while we're doing your stuff. It's like, obviously you're doing your scene too, but this is also another benefit. Right. And it does. Because there's plenty of times where I've met artists during shows that I probably would have never been unless I was there. And there's plenty of people like that. Yeah. And there's times where like I hear certain stuff. You hear certain people's stuff like, oh, I don't know this person's name. And then I'll hear the music. I'm like, oh, who is this? And it sounds good. Right. You're like, oh, and then you see them and the sound fits their looks and everything works out and it's dope. Yes. And I love it.
Hell yeah, man. So with the have you guys, y'all haven't really toured yet. You've just been doing a lot of like New England areas.
They've toured, yeah. They've toured, yeah. So
they got make on that road.
Yeah,
on that road
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Okay. They've done a few where it's in and out of the state, between Massachusetts and Atlanta, and they go back and forth. Right. But I know right now they're doing Actually, I think they will be at South by Southwest.
All right.
So a few of the artists.
Make sure y'all check them out.
Talk of the Town 617 on Instagram. They'll do a lot more where they'll be out there working and networking and doing a lot of stuff. So I'm proud of everybody that's actually going to be going out there because a lot of them have been working their ass off. Yeah. A lot of them are working their ass off. So I'm proud of everybody that's been going out.
Salute, man, from the Show and Proof show to Talk of the Town, man.
Hell yeah.
Y'all out there working. I've been to a few shows, especially in support of my brother right here, man. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to my other brother, Roxbury Rel.
Yep.
I wouldn't even know Quis if it wasn't for Roxbury Rel, man. So big salute to him, man.
Yeah.
Dog, man. You know what I'm saying? It's one big family, man. We like antennas. We like the legs of a spider, man. We all over here doing their thing, but at the end of the day, we all connect in the middle at the body. You know what I'm saying? So big salute to Rel, man.
Word.
Just trying to stay networking out here.
Word.
We trying to stay motivated. We trying to get people to show and prove. We would like for you to showcase a beat or two, if that's cool.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah.
Right, first, before we do that, let the people know, I think you did already.
Yeah.
It's Quis.com.
Yes.
For beats.
Yes.
That's ITSQUIS.com.
Yes.
On Instagram, you can follow him at Call Me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you good. It's Call Me Quis 93. Yeah.
Call Me Quis 93. Yeah. Anything else? You got any SoundClouds? Any other social medias you want to plug? I mean,
yeah. If it's YouTube. YouTube it's Quis 93. I want to say any other social media is the same name. It's Quis 93. I try to keep it consistent, which like you need to be.
Right.
So people can find you.
Right.
YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, all that. It's Quis 93. I try to make sure that especially as I'm a producer and a DJ and everything, but I love content creating.
Yes.
Like I try to make sure like that's like you have the fun part. Like I'm in the era where I was big into like Vine. So like I just try to transition that into everywhere else.
Okay.
But then I watch a lot of other influencers and try to find my lane of doing the same thing, whether it be funny or musical or something to like just draw people's attention. Because there's times where somebody may find a video of mine and it has nothing to do with my music.
Right.
But then they'll continue to just look through and find it like, oh, he's funny too. Man. Yeah.
Right.
There's plenty of content creators that started off just being funny and you didn't realize they made music and it was really, really good.
Right.
Like a big example was DC Young Fly. All his he's a comedian.
Yeah.
But a lot of people didn't realize he can rap and sing too.
Right.
and it comes out really dope.
You just making more bread off the movies. That's why I don't know the hidden talents behind a lot of these other people. Sure, who knew Jaylen Brown could rap?
Right.
He dropped a whole track after getting a check.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it was crazy.
You never know what the hidden talents are of many individuals. That's why it's important to network. Very, very important to network. Are you DJing anywhere? I know you said the city event May 17th in Quincy, Massachusetts.
Yes.
Is there any events that you do on a regular or anything you want to plug up to the outside audience?
Yeah. So I do have I'd say a slight residency in Quincy as well.
Talk that shit.
It's a restaurant sports bar in Quincy. It's called The China. It's on Hancock Street. So I'm there. I think I'm there this Saturday. I'm there this Saturday. It's from 9 p.m. to 1. So 9 p.m. to close. You can come in there, enjoy some food. The game's always on. The drink's always good. I tell people if you like food, sports, and Scorpion Bowls, then you come down. And you come down, see me, say hi, so what's up? We're chilling. Everybody's relaxing. It's a dope vibe every single time.
I'll get my man an appetizer. Teriyaki or something, egg roll, whatever he eats.
Right.
Hook my man up, yo. You know what I'm saying? Word, man. So without further ado, we're going to get into a couple beats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let these people know what they can actually look forward to when they go on it's Quis.com and they can make a purchase or at least whatever it may be. So Let's get into
Let's
it,
go open it
brother.
up. Let me see what I got. Let me see what's good.
Blood fire.
Hey. That right there work.
Show and prove, baby, It's that show and prove, baby, Show and prove, baby, It's Quis.com, It's Quis.com. Let's go.
Let's see what I got. There we go.
Yeah. Show and prove, baby. Show and prove, baby. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah.
Word.
Oh, he goes to the pass me the oxyjoints and all that.
I'm out there all the time. Boom.
Just vibe out, man. Woo. That's enough, man.
This is in the works.
That's enough, Keys.
That's in the works.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll
Some
play.
of y'all, man, I'm not bringing no.
I'll play one more.
This
There we go.
This ain't preschool, man. My man got that.
I'll play one more.
That's definitely like, that's some like Cardi B making shit.
Hey, I need it. I need one. I need one. Give me one of those.
Yeah. That's definitely the twerk song of the year right there. Somebody gotta fire that shit up. Yo, I need one of y'all to go in there and buy this beat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Little twerk song with my female rappers.
Right. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Word.
I need the female rappers, man.
Nah, big shout out. Big ups,
Right.
big ups, man.
Right.
For real. Salute to you,
My
man.
guy.
You know what I'm saying? Real shit. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that was some dope beats. All of them were hits. There wasn't no miss. That last one was definitely what y'all looking for down in the club, man. Y'all want that at Magic City, King of Diamonds.
Right.
Or we could go to, Foxy Lady. Whatever it is, man. I don't know what it is no more, man. I don't be at them spots like that, man. I like my money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll DJ those spots.
Oh, yeah, that's different.
I'll DJ those spots.
That's different. Yeah, if y'all need DJs at any place, I
Right.
don't care if it's a church or shit.
Let me
as long
know.
as y'all paying, man, it's
Right.
legit, everything smooth,
Right.
man, we got you, man.
Let me know.
You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I got an event coming up the 22nd in Gardner, Massachusetts.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Look out for the flyer. Y'all can check me out, of course, on Trackfeen on Instagram, Trackfeen Selector on Facebook. I just opened up a Twitch account, TikTok account, so I'm about to start plugging all of that. We're actually going to start going live on Twitch as well while we record these shows, man.
Sorry.
I'm learning the game too, man.
Yeah, man.
I had to learn the game, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
We out here.
It's
man.
a grind, bro.
Well, much respect. I
Hell yeah,
appreciate
man.
you for coming through, man. Is there any artists that you want to plug? Anything you want to plug before we get out of here? Any upcoming projects you working on? Anything like that?
Oh yeah. So I'm actually in the process of working with my boy Lukey Spitter.
Okay.
Lukey Spitter. We've actually been putting in some work with a lot of those. We got some joints coming out soon.
Okay.
I have another project with another homie of mine, Callie J. Callie J. We have a handful of stuff coming out as well. Actually, I'm trying to dabble in a different pockets of different stuff.
Word.
So with Lukey, right now we're on the rapping bars type of side.
Okay.
With Callie, we're doing rapping as well, but it's more on the house music type of side too. So trying to get a little bit of everything.
Okay.
So it's dope.
Okay, I gotta check that house joint out.
Yeah.
Not saying I don't like the bars. We all love bars.
Yeah.
I like to hear something different.
Sometimes you gotta dance a little bit.
Right, man. Yo, but again, salute you for coming through.
Thank you, bro.
My brother plugged everything he needed to plug for y'all, man. Make sure y'all hit him up. Producing, engineering, studio time, DJing.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's tapping into photography. You know, I can check out some of his pictures on there as well, man. As always, I thank y'all for tuning in. I know I usually drop like 4 or 5 episodes a year, then I disappear. But I promise y'all, I'm here to stay this time, man. I've been doing a lot of self-thinking, self-therapy as well, man.
Right.
And bottom line is, what I learned was to stop putting up these invisible barriers, man. Like, people stopping you in life is you. You understand what I'm saying? And not to copy other shows, but we always did this. Before there was I Got Time Today with Deion Sanders and Roxy. Before there was a lot of shows out there. I've been doing this, and I always kind of had something positive to say at the end of the show, man. So what I want to leave with everybody today is just focus on yourself. I'm not saying you can't help those around you or be a villager for the village. But sometimes we feel like we're so drained by physical labor, not realizing it's our thoughts that are draining us, that are drowning us into isolation, that are making us feel like we're incompetent or incapable of doing things. So I just want people to know that you can do it. You can make it. Nobody's holding you back but you. Kick down them fucking doors. Break down them invisible barriers. Break off them invisible chains you got holding you back from whatever it is. And I've been telling myself this as well. That's why I'm back to the podcast, back to the radio show, back to the DJing, back in the booth, putting out mixtapes. I'm trying to give all of y'all that, all a part of me while I'm still here breathing. They don't give a fuck about my age, my circumstance in life. As long as I still got this talent and I have outlets to give it to you, I'm going to give it to you. So respect, peace. I hope we showed you and proved to you today that we do have a dope engineer, producer. We just got dope talent in this state. And episode 1, Show and Prove, man. It's Quis.
Thank you, bro.
We out of here, baby. 1.
Yes, sir.